Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Cowboys make list of early NFL season surprises. As former NFL Super Bowl winning scout, Brian Broaddus says, the NFL is a strange lady. What he means by this is that most times the season doesn't go the way everyone expects it to. The unpredictability of the NFL is one of its most beautiful traits. Parity in the NFL is at an all-time high, and the 2024 season has already given us a list of random surprises. The Cowboys find themselves on this list, and not for a good reason. The Dallas Cowboys are 2-2 on the season after dispatching the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football last week. Their record isn't a shocker, but when you consider where the losses occurred, it might raise your eyebrows. Mike McCarthy's bunch was undefeated at home last season until the meltdown in the wild card round versus the Green Bay Packers. Their home dominance was expected to continue this offseason, but instead, they have been dominated in two outings. First, the New Orleans Saints thrashed them by the score of 44-19. Then, the Baltimore Ravens strolled in and rushed for 274 yards in a 28-25 victory. Don't let the final score fool you. Baltimore was winning 28-6 at the start of the fourth quarter. We all knew an undefeated streak at home wouldn't last, but it's not the losses themselves that matters so much. It's the manner of defeat. Dallas was pounded into the turf in both these losses. They better whip themselves into shape, because relying solely on road victories won't get teams very far in today's NFL. It's time for the Cowboys to elevate RB Dalvin Cook to the active roster. The Dallas Cowboys didn't have to be in the position they're in at running back. It was one of the most glaring needs that the team had after not pursuing Derrick Henry and letting Tony Pollard go to the Tennessee Titans in free agency. When the NFL draft rolled around, the Cowboys decided to ignore the position again, much to the surprise of many. Yes, the Cowboys brought back Ezekiel Elliott, but that wasn't a move that was going to drastically improve the room. Dallas made the choice that the committee approach was the way to go. Well, through their first 4 games it is slow going. The Cowboys are averaging just 75.3 yards a game, which ranks 30th in the NFL. Elliott can still be effective in short yardage and in the red zone, and Dowdle runs with a purpose, but neither have any juice to their game. So, at this point, the Cowboys need to make one internal move, since they're not going to look outside of the building for answers, and that's to elevate veteran Dalvin Cook to the active roster. Being one of the most electrifying runners in the league isn't where Cook is in his career. Also, what he put on film with the New York Jets and Baltimore Ravens in 2023 wasn't great. However, with the Cowboys only averaging 3.5 per rush, they have to try and find someone who can provide a spark. Cook needs to get into football shape, which comes with playing actual games, but he does have fresh legs, and he just feels like the guy that has the best chance on the Cowboys to bring some sizzle to the running back room. The lack of a running game puts too much on the plate of quarterback Dak Prescott and makes the Cowboys' offense one-dimensional, unpredictable. If Cook were to be called up, the hope would be that he could show something similar to the guy that used to plant his foot, make one cut, and take off years ago. It won't be as explosive as it once was, but it has a chance to be better than what any of the other runners have shown so far. There's no doubt that the running back situation for the Cowboys was self-inflicted with how they operate when it comes to acquiring talent. Regardless, something needs to be done to switch things up, and Cook should at least get a shot to show he has something left. Cowboys could replace HC Mike McCarthy with defensive-minded leader. Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is in the final year of his contract, and even though the Cowboys are riding high on a Week 4 win over rivals the New York Giants, there's still talk about who could be a McCarthy replacement if Jerry Jones thinks it's time for a change. While Bill Belichick's name has been at the top of the tongues of some NFL analysts, a new possibility is emerging, and this guy is winning with defense. Brian Flores is one of the hottest coordinators. In a September 26 feature for Sporting News, Bill Bender discusses some coaching candidates to take McCarthy's place with the Cowboys. One of the more interesting ones is Brian Flores, the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator. The Vikings are 4-0 going into Week 5, and their stellar record is putting Flores in the spotlight. Flores was with the Steelers in 2022 and has emerged as one of the hottest coordinators for his work with the Vikings this season, Bender noted. Elsewhere, he noted, it could work with Dallas if Jones wants a defensive-minded leader. Other NFL analysts are also noting Flores' attention, with ESPN NFL reporter Dan Graziano saying he's the buzziest name among coordinators hoping to become a head coach after the season. On performance alone, he's unassailable, Graziano wrote. The Vikings have allowed a total of 30 points this season to the Giants, 49ers, and Texans, and Flores is drawing raves for the way he disguises pressures and confuses quarterbacks. It started last season in Minnesota, but the players are executing it at a much higher level in year 2 of the system. Graziano added, the question with Flores as a head coaching candidate is, of course, that he still has a pending lawsuit against the NFL alleging racial discrimination in the league's hiring practices. Flores gets more praise in a September 29 feature in Vikings territory, where Adam New noted that following the Vikings' win over the Texans in Week 3, there was talk of the Vikings being one of the best coached teams in the league, of O'Connell and Flores being the best offensive and defensive play-caller duo in the league, and even of Flores' stock rising in league circles that another chance at a head coaching gig could be on the horizon. What do you think?